On this episode of Ask Jason, I have a great question from Robert about the nature of belief, the nature of faith itself. Now, without further ado, let's have a look at Robert's question. I'm writing to you because I have a problem with the idea of faith. Doesn't faith imply belief, which also implies that I don't trust or I don't have a knowing of the truth? This is a great question, and for those who are deep into spirituality and go into the deeper tenets of spirituality, this is very important and something that we need to think about. Now, it's not that faith and belief are inherently negative, but they can become obstacles on the spiritual path. So first of all, when we talk about faith, we are really talking about belief and believing. And so that's why in a lot of religions, particularly the Abrahamic religions, there's a lot of emphasis on faith and that you need to believe. And having belief is actually what aligns you with the tradition. But when you look at it from the Eastern traditions, that's in some sense an incorrect way of looking at things, because to believe means you don't know. You don't also trust the way life is. Now, faith in some sense is a bad word for really trust. But the problem is faith sort of got lumped in with belief. And so we need to believe. When we believe, then we align with some sort of higher power or this and that. But this implies no spiritual work. This implies no deep introspection. It just means you just need to believe in a story that you've been told. Whether you believe that story or not is another thing, but you need to just believe in that story, and that aligns you with that religious tradition. Now, what do we see when we look at life from this perspective? Is we see religions in conflict with each other then, because what you have is you have belief versus belief, but none are based in truth. Because to believe implies that you don't know and you don't have the truth. You just believe. You just want to believe. You hope it's going to be like that from the stories you've been told, but it might not be. But see, they're telling you, yeah, but you need to have faith. It's like a good marketing employee, but you need to have faith in what we're telling you. But you don't really know either. And so from the Eastern spiritual traditions, as I'm sure most of you who watch my content are interested in, is belief in some sense is a dirty word, because you don't really know when you believe. So belief is the problem. Now, when we look at all of the conflict and trouble in the world, it's a lot of belief versus belief. And so that in and of itself is a red flag to believe and to have belief and to have faith. Now, is faith different to devotion is the question. And obviously they are two different things. To be devoted to a spiritual path or be devoted to a deity or a god or a teacher is something completely different, because devotion is just being devoted. You are willing to learn, you are willing to understand whatever you are trying to extract from that particular thing. But to just have belief and faith in a certain person or religion or teaching or deity can be a problem, because you are working in the field then of hope. Now, when we look at hope from a perspective of psychology, hope in some sense is a really negative thing. Now, does that mean you shouldn't have hope? I don't think that's what psychology are actually saying, because having hope can be a good thing, right? It can be a positive thing. It can kind of keep you on the tracks, so to speak. But to have hope means that you're looking just for a positive outcome in the future based on your own ego, based on your own jiva, your own persona system. Now, the East is completely different, because they are playing in the field of truth. We need to understand the truth. What do I understand when I work on myself, when I dissolve my ego? What is the great boon that I bring into existence? And the great boon is you come into contact with the ultimate reality of existence. So truth is in the field of knowing. I need to know, not I want to believe. I need to know. Now, you'll often hear people, part of some religious traditions, say, I believe in God. Now, in the East, that's a strange statement, to believe in God, because according to the Eastern traditions, is once we know the truth, we know Brahman. So that's why within the Upanishads, they talk about the knower of Brahman, the one who knows, or even in Taoism, the one who aligns with the Tao, the one who knows the Tao, the one who sees the infinite in all things, becomes one with the Tao. So it's not about believing, it's about being an active participant on your own spiritual path. Not about, I just believe in God and So things are going to happen for me. Oh, I'm blessed or I'm not blessed. You're wheeling and dealing in the field of luck. You are, in some sense, gambling with your life because you are believing in certain stories, believing in that there is a God, but you are not someone who actually trusts and actually knows God. So you need to come back into the field of trust, truth, and knowing. And so trust, in the deeper sense, is the paradox of unity. So if you want to understand oneness, if you don't have trust, you'll never understand oneness. You'll never have the knowing of Brahman, of Tao, of your Buddha nature, because you are dealing in the field of, I just believe it's one. I believe there's God. I believe in this religious story. And if I follow the tenets of this religious story, then hopefully I will go to a certain place after death. No. The Eastern spiritual traditions are saying you need to be an active participant on your own spiritual path. You need to put a little bit of effort in. This is what bodhicitta is in Buddhism. You need to have that spiritual energy and enthusiasm for your own spiritual cultivation, for your own realization. It's not just going to be given to you. We're not dealing in the field of luck and blessings and hoping that we're going to have a fortunate next existence. If you want to dive deep into this Eastern spiritual traditions, you need to be an active participant in meditation and understanding the depths of philosophy, in having a good frame of reference so you understand life a lot better, and in allowing life to be as it will, because that's the ultimate trust that one can have. A lot of people say they have faith and they believe in God, but then their actions don't match their thoughts because they are often acting from their own ego and they're trying to make life a certain way to suit their own likes and dislikes so that they feel blessed, in air quotes. Whereas the ultimate attitude that you understand the nature of existence is ultimately one, and that we are all connected to Brahman or Tao itself, is to have trust, to allow life to be as it will. Belief can't do that. Belief can never do that. Oh, I believe it's one. I believe in Brahman or Tao. But if life goes a certain way and I need to apply force or I need to get my way, then I will do so. But so you don't have trust. You don't have faith then. You don't have true faith, because true faith is trust. And so if you have the trust in existence itself, in the oneness of reality itself, you'll allow life to be as it will, and you won't force your own opinion and your own agenda upon anyone else. But if you have belief, then you'll force your version of reality on other people. You'll try and convert people to your religion or to your way of thinking, because you want others to believe in the same things you believe in. Not that you want to free them from the hypnosis of their conditioning or the agendas that they have for others, but you want them to just come into alignment with the story that you have in your head of how reality should be. The Eastern spiritual traditions are there to eliminate all stories. They don't want you to continue to ruminate on the stories that we create in our own mind about ourselves, about the world. This is the end of all stories, the end of all movie theaters and cinemas everywhere in our head, so that we can see reality as it truly is. You won't do that with belief, but you'll do that with a trust in how life will be. And then when you trust, then you begin to know the depths of your own existence, which is the nature of reality itself, Brahman or Tao. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.